Hi everyone, this is Judy. Welcome to my Mandoo Club video. I'm so excited to share with you one of my favorite recipes for Chuseok, which is Korean Thanksgiving or Harvest Festival, and it is one of the most revered holidays in Korea. Just like Thanksgiving here in the United States is the one holiday that everybody in the whole family gets together, distant relatives. They all gather together to make such delicious meals to celebrate the harvest moon. So the dish that we're gonna make today is Modeum Jeon. Modeum Jeon means assorted, and jeon is a little mini pancakes. So we're gonna make Modeum Jeon using vegetables, zucchini, eggplant. We're also gonna make meat. This is ground pork. And then we're gonna also use a fish. Traditionally, you can use a cod, but if a cod fish is not available, you can substitute for snapper. So, and then some shishito peppers. I'm gonna show you how to make a beautiful assorted Modeum Jeon so you can enjoy a Korean Thanksgiving with your friends and family. Okay, we're ready to start. To start, we're gonna take our vegetables and slice them into 1/4-inch slices. It's really important that your vegetables are nicely cut even. So you're gonna go in a 45-degree angle, diagonal slice. That looks like that. I like to use this white zucchini that has a little bit more sweet flavor. But if that's not available, you can also use any kind of zucchini you have in your supermarket. So you're gonna make 1/4-inch slices like that. And you're gonna do that with your other vegetable. Most common to use here as well is eggplant. Try to find the little smaller ones. This is an Italian eggplant. You can also use Japanese eggplant. Not the really big ones, because that's kind of a hard shape to get into this cut. So you're gonna do the same exact diagonal cut, 1/4-inch thickness. This is a really easy dish. You can whip up anytime. It's kind of like similar to a tempura where you're frying different kinds of vegetables, but this is not a deep fry, it's just a pan fry. And you can try with a lot of different vegetables. I'm showing you more of the traditional vegetable that is used in Korea. But you can try with whatever type of vegetable you like and experiment with this very easy method. So you have all these vegetables already cut up. I have my shishito peppers already cored and deveined. And then you're gonna have 2 eggs beaten. And then you need to have a wide surface. You can use a sheet pan with a cup of flour, because we're gonna be dredging all these ingredients onto that flour. Next, we're gonna take this beautiful fillet of fish and we're gonna slice it up evenly to kind of match the shape of the vegetables. What you wanna do is slice it diagonal, that you get thin pieces that's kind of the same shape as your vegetable. So you're gonna just keep filleting the fish in a diagonal motion. I'm gonna cut this part to be more even. And it's important that you keep the shape as evenly as possible, because you want everything to cook at the same temperature. And now that I have all my fish sliced, we're ready for the next item. Now that we have all our fish pieces cut nice and evenly, do make sure that there are no bones. So just double check that there's no bones in there. We're gonna move to the next protein, which is our ground pork. I have a half a pound of ground pork here. 1 minced garlic. This recipe is basically similar to making the mandoo filling. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of, actually a little, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a pinch of salt, pepper, and I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of minced scallions, and I'm gonna mix that up. And this is gonna be a nice base for our meat jeon, also called wonjang. So the reason why there are so many different ingredients for this dish is because it's a festive dish and you want to have a symbol of abundance, a lot of different ingredients that you would find after harvest in Korea. So it's important to have several varieties of protein, and you can even do seafood like shrimp if you wanted to do instead of fish. So as long as you have a variety, an assortment of meat and veggies, that it looks like a beautiful festive platter. So my meat is well put together and it's seasoned pretty lightly. And you're gonna turn these into little meatballs. So I like to just take a small handful, like that. And then you need to flatten it. So that's the trick here. You're gonna flatten your meatball like a little coin. That's about maybe 2 inches. So you're gonna just keep working on your meat, turn it into a ball, flatten it out, kind of like a little baby hamburger patty. So keep working on that. And then the other way to use the meat, this is a really neat trick, is you take your cord peppers and you stuff it. This is another technique that is used in these festive foods so that you're combining the 2 different ingredients into one new dish. So I'm gonna do a couple of those here. I'm gonna stuff the pepper with the seasoned ground pork. That, pretty fun, right? And it looks really pretty once you make it all together. Okay, now we have our next step is to dredge each ingredient in flour and our egg. So we're gonna season the egg with a pinch of salt and pepper. Make sure that's well mixed. And you're gonna start with each ingredient individually. So I start with flour, an egg, and then we're gonna have a frying pan, medium heat, using canola oil. And then you should have a tray where you're gonna put your finished jeon. So I start putting in the ingredient. I'm gonna put some zucchini in the egg. I'm just gonna dredge it. And then dip it into your flour. I'm gonna stack these guys on my tray here so I can have a few at a time. This process is really, really easy. I mean, you can just go ahead and use your hands if that's easier. But all you're doing is doing this 2 simple step process. Egg with flour to each of the ingredients. So this might take a few minutes to get it all done, but you can do sections at a time. So I got a few zucchini here. I'm gonna toss in some eggplant. And then do the same. While the pan is heating, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of canola oil so that the pan is nice and warm. You don't want to overpower and overheat the vegetable because you just want a nice sear, because we're just doing a little pan fry, not a deep fry. So you just want a medium heat. And then now I'm going to try our fish. Same technique. Egg batter followed by flour. Oops. Can have a few of those there. So once you're done with this, I mean, as you can see, it's actually a lot of ingredients that you're mixing together. You're gonna need a beautiful giant platter. I'm gonna try my next little guy stuffed pepper. Same technique. I like to use my hands. Sometimes it's just easier to maneuver. But up to you. You can use a tongue, you can use chopsticks, whatever works for you. That's pretty easy. So I got a few peppers there. Let's try the little wonja, the little baby patties there. Same thing. Make sure they don't lose their shape. Try to keep it as round and flat as possible. Okay, I think you got the hang of this. And then the next step is to fry them up. Okay, I have all my assorted jeon dredged. So I got the zucchini, eggplant, peppers, fish, and our little meatballs ready to go. Pan is medium heat. I'm gonna start with our little zucchini guys. Just want a nice medium heat, and you just want to turn them brown. You're going to work with one side each and then flip over once it's turned brown. All right, I'm going to start hearing the sizzle. All right, I'm going to give it its time. You only turn it over once it turns brown. Okay, so make sure you're watching it very carefully. I have gone through all my ingredients and have pan fried each ingredient separately like this, and have a little paper towel so that you grab some of that excess oil. So the really fun and important part of making Modeum Jeon is the presentation. Because it is a festive food, you want to make a beautiful, beautiful plate. And usually you arrange each ingredient as it fans out on the plate. So I'll show you like that. And this dish is usually, of course, enjoyed during Thanksgiving, Chuseok, but it's also enjoyed at birthdays, weddings, any type of ceremony is when this dish is enjoyed. So I'm gonna arrange fanning out from the center. I put my zucchini on one side, and then I'm gonna put my fish on the other side. And you want the plate to look abundant because we are celebrating harvest Korean Thanksgiving. So you choose a beautiful plate that you like. It could be rectangle, it could be round. As long as you can make a pretty presentation like that. So work in a way that it kind of fans out. These little peppers turned out great, as you can see here. Have a little crispy edge, and you get a little surprise when you bite into that pepper. So I put that pepper here. And then these little wonja meatballs, I'll put right here. Like that. And then I'll finish with a little eggplant. So you usually eat this kind of like Korean pancakes if you're familiar, with a little dipping sauce. And I'll show you how easy that dipping sauce is. So I like to present it like that. So it's an assorted Modeum Jeon arranged in a beautiful plate. And so you can put a little, like a little ramekin, baby ramekin in the center, like that, as your dipping sauce. And the dipping sauce is really simple. It's actually the same dipping sauce as Mandoo, the dumplings. So you're gonna use a tablespoon of soy, a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. And then I already put a little pinch of sugar in there just for extra sweetness. And if you like it to be a little spicier, you could add red pepper flakes. And voila, you have your Chuseok Modeum Jeon ready to go. Thank you for seeing my video and sharing this beautiful dish with me. I hope you get to make a beautiful dish at home and enjoy it with your family. Happy Chuseok!